Ready to go.
Good morning, girls. Today I'm here with Sonya, who's the head of the Good Samaritan Foundation, and I'm going to be asking her a few questions about the Good Samaritan ministries that we raise money for. So, Sonya, welcome. My first question for you is, what is your role in the Good Samaritan Foundation?
Yeah, so as leader of the foundation, my role is to represent the spirit and charism of the sisters and also their ministries, most importantly, and to make sure that they continue not just for today and tomorrow, but into the future as well. So basically that involves three things. The first is around raising awareness. So really bringing to light the stories of people in the ministries that we support so that we can all see what goes on and they're visible. And then the next is around fundraising and in our community, connecting everybody together in a community of support. And the last is to make sure that those funds go to the people most in need. We only have myself as a full-time employee at the foundation, so most of the funds do go to the ministries.
That's awesome. That's really good. I know the girls at St. Mary's always love getting involved in all the fundraisers as well. So it's good to hear from someone who organises all of this. My second question for you is, where have you visited, like out of the ministries?
Yes, look, I'd love to say everywhere, but I've been, I joined in July last year, so 10 months. I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Timor-Leste, and I've been down to the Inn, so that's our domestic violence short-term shelter. And next on the list is Kiribati.
That's really, really exciting. Yeah, they all sound like such great opportunities to go and visit those places. So when you were at the ministry countries or areas, what did you learn from this, like this experience?
Yeah, well, what I'd like to do is show you through my camera a couple of slides. So I'll share screen. Did that come up for you?
Yes, I can see your screen now.
See the blank screen?
Okay. There, perfect. I can see all of your slides, so that's great.
Okay, let me just start the slideshow. Oops, sorry. Okay, here we go. So I have, they're the three areas that I have been to and studied quite in depth. This up the top here is NOSEF, it's the secondary students at Timor-Leste. The Philippines is a little one in our feeding program at the squatter settlement in Bacolod, and our domestic violence shelter down in Victoria. The thing that I think the thing that I really learnt in visiting these areas is that poverty, which a lot of our people are living in, deep poverty, is different in every region and for every person. So, and the vulnerabilities that people face in those regions is different as well. And, you know, as soon as I say vulnerability, I want to say to you, what does that mean? What does vulnerability mean? And it really is a word that talks to the fact that you're being exposed to be easily harmed or hurt. So when you have no money, no food, no education, no employment, and no way to get out of that, it's difficult to feel safe and free from harm.
Definitely.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you know, some add on to that some might be single mums and some might be 16-year-old single mums. So they're very vulnerable, Nieve, in these circumstances. But a personal reflection that I wanted to talk to you about was there is a difference between physical poverty and how that makes you vulnerable, but I'd also term emotional and spiritual poverty. And that when you have community and people to support you, you might be experiencing physical poverty, but not necessarily the other, the spiritual and emotional.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
Thank you. So if you look at, well, I'd just like to share a reflection that I had when I was in the Philippines. Here's our beautiful sister Anne with a little bub from an orphanage that I visited. Now, this orphanage isn't one of our ministries. We're just there to say hello and to have a look. And these children needs are definitely being met in terms of the basic needs of shelter and food. But when I looked at their emotional needs, without community and without support, their faces were blank, their eyes sad. There are a number of little bubs left there. A lot of them aren't actually even orphans. Unfortunately, when you don't have enough money, sometimes little ones get left by the side of the road, and sometimes they're brought in by their mums to say, look, we just can't, we can't support the bub. So that was that experience in the orphanage. And then what I'd like to show you is I went soon after to our kinder school, and I saw these children are actually living in very extreme circumstance, which I'll show you. They're not extreme for them. They're living in difficult shelters and without food. So we give them a meal every day, and they have an early childhood education. But I really wanted to show you their faces. Look at these beautiful faces.
Yes, we're all very happy and smiling.
Oh, they're amazing. Look. And, they come up and they're so trusting and caring, and even their families are supported by the work that you do in community, in the Good Sands community. This is where our funding actually goes, to ensure that their physical needs are met, but their emotional and educational needs are met as well. And so I think that's a big reflection that I learned.
Definitely.
Here's a little story. This is a funny one. Sorry, Nieve, you go.
No, just saying that I think that's really important, especially for the girls at St. Mary's, to learn is that poverty is not just about, like, we're not just trying to give them food and water on the table. That's not what it's about. It's about creating a community for them, like those children at the school, kind of similar to what we have here in Wollongong.
Exactly. That's exactly the message. And this is just a little vignette I'd like to share with you. This is a little boy. He finished his work and his exercises that he needed to do. And I was sitting up the back, and I had a little, just a normal notebook opened, and it had numbers down the bottom of the page. Now, this little one is only, I'm going to say 5 to 6, so he's in the higher end of the kinder class. And he came up to me and he said, look at that, your book's got numbers down the bottom. And I said, yeah, it does. And he said, well, you're on page 208. Which I think for a kinder kid's pretty amazing, right? And then I said, oh, okay, you're writing numbers. Can you write that? And that's what he wrote, 208. And then he went on to, this is a photo from my notebook. Then he went on to write 1,000,000. I had to put the commas in to work out what he was writing. And he said, that's 1,000,000. I said, it is.
That was like 6 zeros.
Yeah. So, and this beautiful picture up the top there is one of the little girls then that came up, and she said, can I draw a picture in your notebook of you? And I said, of course you can. So she drew me with a fringe, and she drew my longer hair. But look at that for a 6-year-old.
So sweet.
So, when children are given an education and they're cared for and given a pencil and paper and things to do, they do, truly remarkable things. Yes, just because they have no money doesn't mean that they're not very intelligent little beings that can be supported through their journey. Now, this is where the thing with the kinder children is that their smiles and their uniforms hide perhaps where they actually live and what their lives are like. So when I was talking about them, I don't know what you were thinking about where they lived, but this is, the truth.
You wouldn't expect that this is what they go home to every night.
So this is actually the squatter settlement. So it's similar accommodation, but see how vulnerable they are to fire, because a lot of these structures are just built from bamboo poles and pieces of tin that they've found, and also water. Once that floods there, once there's water, there's a whole lot of mud. Yeah, but yet their spiritual lives are very, very rich and amazing. So, I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, wow, it's a really good way that you've put this. The way that, like, somebody can be really poor but have, like, rich in love and community and things like that, and you just don't expect, because we're so lucky here in Wollongong that we live in such amazing houses in such a great area, that there'll be other children out in the world who don't come home to such a great place to live.
Yes, exactly. And yeah, it really does bring to mind, being good Samaritans, that while you do live in those areas, if you were doing so much that you may not even be realizing, because by being part of the community and caring, and even just allowing me to share the stories, or giving me a forum to do that, then we all learn more and we can together make this amazing change happen.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That was really valuable. And my last question today is, what does the parable of the Good Samaritan mean to you?
So much. To me, it's about having that presence of mind to look at other people and think, what's going on with you? Why are you not thriving? Why are you not happy? And not walking past anybody that we see that might need our support, even if we're busy, even if we've got, for me, I've got a meeting or something. It was having a bit of presence of mind to stop and look at the other person's needs. And I think it's not just about our ministries, although of course that's critical. I think that we experience this and have the ability to be good Samaritans in our day-to-day, just to reach out to a friend and asking why she's down. And even sometimes, understanding what a teacher might be feeling, it's extending yourself. So I think the thing that I would like to say to everyone there at St Mary's is that you are part of such a vibrant, amazing community of teachers, parents, and benefactors and donors, and that together those changes that I showed you at the kindergarten, we're making happen, and that's being a good Samaritan. So I think once you start and reflect about being a good Samaritan, you can't help but want to go and do likewise.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Going out and putting yourself in other people's shoes and giving back to the community. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this valuable information with us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nieve. Bye, everybody. God bless.
Thank you. Okay, I think that went well. What do you think, Miss?
Fantastic. Does it stop recording now?
I will stop recording.
You can always edit the recording anyway.
Yeah.
Can you? Nope. Yep. I hope, hang on, let me just check.